Hey, what's going on, guys? The decade's coming to a close pretty soon here, 2010s, and I thought it would be fun to take a look back at the best albums of the decade, or basically my favorite albums of the decade, the top 10. So yeah, I'm going to go through a top 10 list of my top 10 favorite albums of the decade, starting with number 10, going to number 1. Thanks. So for number 10 on my list of top 10 favorite albums of the decade, I'm going to go with Rihanna's Anti. I'm a big fan of Rihanna, yeah, and I've liked her ever since, the first decade of the 2000s. And yeah, Loud was a really good album. And I feel like Anti, though, is just the best that she's done so far. Like, it seems like she just keeps getting better. And the production is great. It has like a nice grittiness to it. Her voice, of course, is as sexy as ever. And yeah, the tracks are just really great. So yeah, for number 10, I'm going to go with Rihanna's Anti, and my favorite track being Work. So for number 9 on my list, I'm going to go with Duran, Paper Gods by Duran. So yeah, I heard about this album coming out, and I was like, oh wow, Duran's coming back with an album, and I love their 80s stuff, and I was like, oh, I'll give it a listen, and it's really good. Yeah, I got really into this album for a while, and I was listening to it a lot. It didn't really hold it, that strong over time. I kind of got a little tired of it, but when I came back to it, I was like, oh man, there's some really good tracks here. So Duran, it's just kind of got that new wave, kind of electro kind of sound to it, and yeah, they featured Janelle Monáe on Pressure Off, and I just love that single. So yeah, Duran's Paper Gods would be my number 9, and actually the 3, 4, 5 tracks are my favorite. That's that string of 3 tracks right there. You Kill Me With Silence, Pressure Off, and Face for Today is a great 3, 4, 5. Some of the tracks, don't really stick with me that well, but yeah, I love that 3, 4, 5 string right there. And I'll go, my favorite track will definitely be You Kill Me With Silence, even though it's a close one between that one and Pressure Off. So for number 8 on my list, I'm going to have to go with Paramore's After Laughter. So yeah, I love this album. Yeah, it's got some really good tracks on it. Overall, I don't really like the ballady slow tracks. I really like the up-tempo songs. Rose Colored Boy, Hard Times, and Caught in the Middle would be my 3 favorite tracks. But yeah, I just love those tracks are so strong that it would rank this high just based on those tracks, even though a lot of the tracks I skip I don't really listen to. The slow ballady stuff is just a little too much for me. But yeah, the Caught in the Middle, yeah, just an amazing song. Yeah, I did a cover of that one on the keyboard, and I really like Paramore. The way that they do the juxtaposition between the really up-tempo kind of happy sounding songs, but the lyrics are very dark. I love that juxtaposition of the light and the dark. I think that's just a great technique in pop music, and usually a lot of those songs are some of my favorites, where it's like, the song is real happy sounding, but yeah, if you listen to the lyrics, they're pretty dark. So yeah, for number 8, I'm going with Paramore's After Laughter. So for number 7 on my list, I'm going to go with Haim, Days Are Gone. So yeah, I was pretty obsessed with Haim for a little while there. Yeah, when they came out, that song Don't Save Me, I just got obsessed, and I kind of played it on repeat. And I love the video. I used to watch the video a lot where they're on the basketball court, in the indoor basketball court. But yeah, Haim is great. Yeah, they came out and they kind of sound like Fleetwood Mac, and their lead singer is just incredible. I kind of had a little crush on her. And so yeah, Haim is just amazing. Yeah, they had some other really good tracks on the album as well. Falling, and If I Could Change Your Mind is really good. But definitely Don't Save Me would be my favorite track. Yeah, so for number 7, I'm going with Haim, Days Are Gone. So for number 6 on my list, I'm going to go with Sun Structures by Temples. So yeah, I kind of heard about this band coming out, psychedelic rock, and I was like, wow, they're pretty good. And the first track that came out was Keep in the Dark. I think it was kind of single before the album was released, and I really fell in love with that song. They kind of have that psychedelic old sound, with really cool chord changes and just great songs. And it's one of those albums where like the album is really good all the way through. You can kind of listen to it all the way through. There's not really very many bad tracks. And it's just, I love the psychedelic vibe to it. Yeah, it just has a great sound. It's got that little kind of crackly, texture to it in the production. So yeah, for number 6, I'm going with Temples, and definitely a favorite track will be Keep in the Dark. So for number 5 on my list, and getting into the top 5 now, So yeah, these albums I really do love a lot. Number 5 is gonna be Future Islands Singles. So Singles by Future Islands. Yeah, this band, wow, they made some late night performance. I can't remember if it was Jimmy Fallon or James Corden or one of those late night shows. And the front man is just insane. Yeah, he's just going crazy on the stage and just the dude was just it was a viral video. Yeah, everyone was talking about it. But the songs are really awesome too. Yeah, he did the Seasons Change. That was the big single off of it, and I guess the song that they performed. But then I ended up listening to the album, and the whole album is really good. The guy he's got an amazing voice. He can sing high, and then he does a raw, graspy sound too. So yeah, it's just this band kind of just blew my mind. And so yeah, I'm gonna go with number 5 is gonna be Future Islands Singles, and my favorite track I'm gonna go with the second track, Spirit. That's just up tempo. I just love that song. Yeah, it's a great song. Seasons is a great song, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Spirit for my favorite track. So for number 4 on my list, I'm gonna have to go with Broken Bells After the Disco. So yeah, I mean, this is a great album. Yeah, I love this album. James Mercer and Danger Mouse. Yeah, I love the Shins. James Mercer does a little side project with Danger Mouse, and there's just great tracks. Yeah, they got more kind of an electro, kind of electronic vibe to them. But yeah, his voice is just amazing as usual, and the songs are great. They're basically Control, Holding On for Life, After the Disco, and Medicine. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, and 8 tracks are my favorite. I love the whole album though. I can listen to this all the way through, and yeah, I was pretty obsessed with it for a while there. So Broken Bells. Yeah, I just love how he's almost talking about like you gotta let go of control. Yeah, the whole album kind of a little bit has that vibe of it, where it's just relax and number 4 on my list is gonna be Broken Bells After the Disco. And number 2, or my favorite track is going to be the second track, which is After the Disco. Yeah, I'm definitely going to pick that one, even though it's kind of tough. I really love Control as well. Holding On for Life was the big single. But yeah, After the Disco is a really great song. I love how the bass and his vocals line up. It kind of has this funky little syncopated bass line, and the way that he's singing over the bass line, it just sounds so good with the changes and everything. And so, yeah, there's just the way that it lines up is just so nice. It's just yeah, like I just love how the bass lines up with the vocals on it. So yeah, number 4 on my list is gonna be After the Disco by Broken Bells. So for number 3 on my list, I'm gonna have to go with Johnny Marr's Playland. So yeah, Johnny Marr is a badass guitarist from the Smiths, and yeah, he has his own music, and it's incredible, and it doesn't get enough credit. It's very underrated, this album. I feel like people didn't talk about it enough, and it's just an amazing album, especially the first 5 tracks. Yeah, the beginning of it is just amazing. The second half of it kind of dies off a little bit for me, but those first 5 tracks is just, incredible. Especially Candidate, that's probably my favorite track. It's just about getting in the story, that you don't have to stay on the sidelines, and so yeah, that one really affects me. So I really love that track. Of course, Easy Money is also one of my favorite tracks. Working for it all, 'cause that's money, that's money. Yeah, just a really good song, and Johnny Marr's Playland, very underappreciated album. It's going to be my number 3. So for number 2 on my list of favorite albums of the decade is going to be My Love Is Cool by Wolf Alice. So yeah, this album, man, I played this album so much. Yeah, it's just so good. It hit all the right spots for me. It's basically like all the nostalgia that I needed and like some new music. And they kind of touched upon the Cranberries, My Bloody Valentine, the Breeders. They mixed all that sound, got a little grungy sound, and also created amazing songs with it. And just the whole album is incredible. This album, Wolf Alice was going to be my number 2. My favorite track, I'm going to have to go with the track 3, Your Love's Whore. That track is an amazing track. Yeah, I just used to listen to that song over and over. Now, won't you go and take time and get to know me? It just has a great little, it's like kind of happy, but then it gets a little dark, and it's just, the drums stop, it's got that little stop in there, and So yeah, but yeah, so My Love Is Cool was a great album. Their second album that came out after was okay as well, but it didn't hit me like this one did. So yeah, number two, I'm gonna go with Wolf Alice. My Love Is Cool. So before I get to my number one favorite album of the decade, I'm gonna go through a list of the songs that are, or not songs, but albums that are honorable mentions. The ones that almost made the list. So I kind of compiled a pretty big list of albums that I liked for the decade, and then I narrowed it down to the top 10. So these are gonna be my honorable mentions, and I'm just gonna kind of list them quick and say maybe one quick thing about them real quick. So Saint Lucia, When the Night. Yeah, that's a great album. Yeah, Elevate, awesome song. Yeah, me and my fiance love that song. It's gonna be at our wedding. No one elevates you now. Paramore, I love their self-titled album. It was really good. Yeah, it had some really great tracks on that. I love the song Grow Up, actually. That was my favorite track on that. I really liked Pixies' Head Carrier. The Pixies album that came out this year. That was a really good album. Yeah, I listened to that a lot. Snoop Dogg, Bush was my favorite Snoop Dogg. I listened to some of the other ones, but that was my favorite of his of the decade. I think Pharrell produced it, and it just has a great sound to it. Yeah, I love the Snoop Dogg Bush album. Teal Wilkenfeld, Love Remains. This album just came out not that long ago, and I just started listening to it, and I need to listen to it more, but it's really good. Yeah, she's some kind of virtuoso prodigy, jazz musician, but she also writes music. And yeah, it has a grungy sound to it that I really like, and so it's cool that she's not just doing like jazz, she's making these songs. So Weezer, the Teal album, which is the one that has all the covers. I love their cover of Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Like, his voice is just so pure in the beginning. It just sounds so good. I listened to that a lot on repeat for a while. The 1975, they have that long title. It's called I Like It When You Sleep, For You Are So Beautiful Yet So Unaware. So yeah, the 1975, just the first two tracks on that album are great, and then the rest of it just kind of fades away for me. It gets a little weird, but yeah, I love the love me if that's what you want to do. Oh yeah, I love that song. Yeah, it has kind of a creepy little like sound to it. Yeah, I play that song a lot. The Weezer album Everything Will Be Alright was a really good album too. I really like that one a lot. Vampire Weekend, Modern Vampires of the City. I did a cover of Unbelievers, and of course I love Diane Young. Yeah, that song is great. And then I love that Stephen Malkmus album, Wig Out at Jagbags, I think it was Jagbags. Yeah, that was a really good album too. Listen to that a lot. Radiohead, of course, A Moonshaped Pool is a really great album. Yeah, I liked Radiohead a lot. And Atoms for Peace, with Tom York and Flea and that kind of super group. They did that album called Amok. So yeah, so that's my list of honorable mentions, and I'm going to go ahead and get to my number one favorite album. So for my number one favorite album of the decade, you guys probably know what it is. Come on, it's Tame Impala, Currents. I mean, wow, yeah. Where did this music come from? What the hell? I mean, like, God came down and just like struck a lightning bolt on this guy and was like, "You're gonna make this incredible album that's just timeless and is gonna be remembered for years to come." And it's just amazing. I mean, yeah, it's just I don't know where this music came from. It blew my mind. It still blows my mind. So yeah, I mean, Let It Happen. The first track on it, just oh my God, it's just insane. And then we got The Less I Know, The Better. Eventually. Of course, Yes, I'm Changing. Oh man, yeah. It's hard to even pick a favorite song. Yeah, the whole album is just ridiculous. I don't know if he ever. I'm sure he's gonna come out with another album. I don't know if he's come out with the one after this yet, but I don't know how you could top this one. It seems like this album. I would be surprised if people aren't talking about this album still like 20 years from now. Or even 30 years from now. It really is the best album of the decade. It's my favorite, but I feel like, anyone who doesn't put this as number one, go back and listen to it. How can anything be better than this? But yeah, but it's still just my opinion, of course. So yeah, everyone has their own opinion. But yeah, anyways, yeah, thanks guys for watching my top 10 list of favorite albums of the decade. And yeah, let me know, down in the comments, what are your top 10 favorite albums of the decade, or top 5, or, just name off an album if you want. And of course, I'm sure there's a lot that I haven't heard as well. I haven't heard everything, and You know, I've heard a good amount, but yeah, there's probably a lot of stuff that I missed that I haven't listened to. So yeah, it'd be cool to get some recommendations as well of other albums that I, you know, missed from this I can't talk from this past decade. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, thanks guys for watching, and y'all have a great day. Thanks.